Well, this year's speaker list at CPAC is full of political heavyweights considered possible presidential candidates. They're all clamoring to get their moment at this conference. But in a Wall Street Journal op-ed, Deputy Editor Daniel Henninger asserts that the GOP isn't just looking for a candidate. They seem to want a superhero, writing, quote, "Instead of offering an anxious electorate a recognizable alternative to the status quo, the Republicans look like they're obsessed with discovering Captain America. Their Captain America could be named Rand, Scott, Jeb, Marco, but the mere landing of this political superhero in the Oval Office will turn the country around." Really? That's all it's going to take? I mean, welcome, Dan, you outline the job description for the next president of the United States and what that person is going to have to deal with in foreign policy. It's a pretty tough description.
It's a huge undertaking, Martha. I mean, look at the state of the world right now. In chaos in the Middle East, Vladimir Putin taking over eastern Ukraine, our allies in the Pacific nervous about China's aggression. These are not normal times. And I think the American electorate understands that. Voters do. I think the viewers of this network understand that they would like a candidate who is able to project competence, and that competence at the highest level of world affairs. This is not a normal election. You are not just going to be able to walk in off the street and become president. And my concern with the Republican process so far is that when people say, "I like Scott Walker," or "I like Rand Paul," they're giving the impression that if they just put this one person in the Oval Office, he'll have this magic cape and solve all the world's problems. And the speeches we're getting so far at the CPAC conference are not suggesting, to me at least, any kind of a level of substantive competence and interest in what is going on in the world that would allow these people to step up to the task at hand.
Very interesting. I want to pull up another quote from your piece so that I can share it with our viewers at home, and it's in the Wall Street Journal. Yesterday it was published in the Wall Street Journal. You can get it online. It says the U.S. just tried electing a rookie president and had 6 years of amateur hour. It doesn't work, and it won't work again if the next president, whether rookie or former governor, shows up in the Oval Office in 2017 with not much more than his victory cape and some political pals. And, you know, you make a great point, Dan. We have not heard anyone get up there and really present a thorough analysis of how he or she sees the dynamic that's going on in the world right now and what really needs to be done.
Well, the one person who is speaking at CPAC today is John Bolton. I'm not suggesting John Bolton should be president, but John Bolton has gotten into this explicitly because he thinks we have to raise the level of the debate about the state of the world and press these candidates to commit themselves now rather than simply giving "I love America" speeches. If they get into the government, they're going to need about 100 of the best and brightest individuals to fill cabinet post, deputy cabinet post. They're going to have to do it on day one, Martha. They're not going to have 6 months to figure it out after they've taken over the mess that Barack Obama has left.
Very interesting that you say that, because Jeb Bush has put out there the names of the people that he has on his foreign policy advisory team already. Good move?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, you love or hate Jeb Bush. I have to give him credit for at least putting out a list of people that he's talking to on the chaos in the world. And I would hope that some of these other candidates would do the same to give us some sense of where they are going to take the country rather than just promising that their personality or the force of their politics is going to solve the really extraordinary problems the country is going to face in January of 2017.
I wonder if, given where we are in the world right now, as we get a little bit closer and the field winnows a little bit, if you might see this time people specifically naming, you know, this is who I would want for my Secretary of Defense, this is who I would want for my Secretary of State, for example.
Well, I think probably the force of the course of events is going to force that, considering the things that are going on with Islamic State, the arrest of these guys in Brooklyn, what happened with Charlie Hebdo. It's not going to stop, and I think the voters themselves are going to be demanding from these candidates some sense of how they're going to respond, and that will include beginning to name some names that will come into the government with them.
Potentially electing a team.
A team.
It's like the Avengers.
The A-team.
All the superheroes together. All right. Thank you very much, Dan.
All right.
Great
Thank you,
piece.
Martha.